I'm Victor Brooks, and this is the Victor Brooks Show Facebook Live Quarantine Series. And you know what time it is. It's Sunday, 1 o'clock p.m. Pacific Coast time. And I'm looking over here now because I'm going to start my watch party. And thank you all, everybody that starts their individual watch party as well. That means a lot, you know, because, let's see here, let's press this. All right, share. And we are, the party's watching. Because every time you share your watch party, it just kind of helps this whole positivity posse fire burn. You know, whoever turns it on and is able to watch and join in with these vibes that we try to deliver, you know, every Sunday at 1 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. Myself and my incredible co-producers, my brother Christopher Brooks, my sister Julie McKnight, and the incredible Wendy Vaughn that's always on here with us, making sure that it all sounds right and looks right, you know? And that's what we try to do, as you all know. You've been with us, and we call each other the Positivity Posse, you know, which is just a group of us. No matter how big it gets, we hope it just keeps growing as big as it can get, you know? And we're proud to say that we are, you know, we're gaining Positivity Posse members all over the world. You know, we're having people who are contacting us, of course, throughout the U.S., Chicago, Dallas, Memphis, my hometown, everywhere. And that's such a blessing. And then when I get calls or emails in from Europe and Germany and France, 17 at 7 Jazz Society, they've been a Positivity Posse member, those jazz students out there in France, and the awesome job that Astrid is doing there with the whole foundation of jazz and the history and learning. We can't thank y'all enough, and everybody else. You know what, I always love to give, and we must give credit where credit is due. The respect to our first responders. Y'all know that Corona's still out here. You know, it's put our life on pause in a lot of ways. We have been dealing with two viruses right now, as you know, not right now, but for a while. I always say the virus of the corona and the virus of racism, you know. That coronavirus put us on pause and kind of had us sit back and, you know, changed our life in a whole lot of ways all over the world. But maybe there were some family members that we called that we hadn't called in a while. Maybe there's some books or some projects that we finished or things that when life goes back to back at us, you know, every 24 hours, y'all, you know, maybe there is. And I believe there is some positives in this corona as well, that we just look for them. You know, every time I get up in the morning and open my eyes, wow, that's my first blessing to call. Thank you. When I put my foot down on the floor and walk to where I need to walk, that's my second blessing, y'all. And it just goes on and on and on. And, you know, I know that so many of you understand what I'm saying with that too. The second virus of racism, y'all, you know, it's been with us generationally. It's unfortunately a virus that seems like, you know, it still pops its head. Never really, you know, never know when it's going to pop up on you, you dig? But I have to give it up to our young people that started this whole protest thing in the streets, you know? And especially our young artists who have something to say it. You young artists, write those songs about it, y'all. Paint those pictures, write those poems, do those dance auditions, make those short films, whatever it is that you as an artist have to say, follow in the footsteps of Nina Simone and Gil Scott-Heron and the Watts poets and on and on and on throughout history. Much respect, y'all. Thank you to our doctors. Thank you to our nurses. Thank you to our truck drivers, our postal workers, everybody that's trying to make life as comfortable as it can be for all of us, you know? And I thank you all for taking this journey with us every Sunday at 1 o'clock p.m. We have some special thanks again today. I want to thank the Emotions fan page. Sister Wanda, Pam, Jeanette, Sheila, we love y'all. Thank you so much. And all of your fans on the Emotion page that tunes in and shares their watch party every Sunday at 1 o'clock. Thank you. And of course, we know it's Labor Day weekend, y'all. just be positive and safe out there. Wear those masks, you know, do what we got to do to keep each other safe, you know, so we can try to get back to normal as quick as we can. Also, I want to give a very proud shout out to some of our past guests who took their time to join us, you know, in their episodes here at the Facebook Live Positivity Posse. First of all, to Queen Melba Moore. Thank you, Melba Moore, for taking your time when you came on and spread the love and positivity about your journey. And much respect and much major shout out to you for your new single, Just Doing Me. Melba Moore, y'all, is killing it on the charts again. Just Doing Me is her new single produced by George Pettis and Terry Hunter, written by Angela Pettis. Right on, Queen Melba, right on. Much love and much respect. Also, if you don't have yours right here, this is brother Larry Dotson. Larry Dotson, original lead singer of the Funk Masters, the Barcades. Let me tell y'all something. This book right here and the band plays on, incredible reading, y'all. And not just because of my love and respect for brother Larry, but what others are saying through their reviews of reading this honest approach of his life, his journey as a musician and an artist, the ups, the downs, but all through it, the positivity and the blessings of brother Dotson's life. Right on, and much respect to brother Dotson. Also, to our sister Salima Nimoy. You remember Salima when she came on and gave her readings of her journey and how soul music, her book, Since I Lost My Baby, an Amazon bestseller, y'all. Check it out, Salima Nimoy. Salima came on and shared her journey and gave her I'm going to say testimony of how soul music changed her life in the positive in so many ways. Much respect and keep on keeping on, Salima. We love you, girl. Wendy, Lady Wendy, are you there right now? I want to bring you on too. And the Positivity Posse is sending it all in on to you, Wendy. They loving you, girl.
Hey, I was just over here doing all my watch parties behind the scenes, clapping air fives of people. They sending us, they're very blessed and hot, you know, a little sweaty today out here in LA.
It is 102 today, and as y'all know, I don't have air conditioning in this one right here, but I got my fans on, and you know, that's the positivity.
That is okay. To have a fan is a blessing, you know. Makes you appreciate the little things, like they say.
That's right. That's right. Who we got on there with you, sis? People are loading up today for Miss Marla Gibbs.
Yes.
It is incredible around the world. Go ahead.
All over. We have, well, the entire Vaughn family. We have Patricia. We have Lisa. We have, of course, even Wayne Vaughn tilted in a little bit.
Big bruh.
Yes, he's giving his love and shout outs. And Marla, they love you. I know that our different folks in my family, especially mom and dad, they've had an opportunity to work with her. So this is just going to be incredible. You know, everyone sends their love to you, Uncle Vic, because they say you just keep this positivity coming. And now I got people coming to me saying, Wendy, you got to sprinkle some of that positivity on it. Boy. I fell out laughing like, he done started something now.
And you know what? That's what and you know what? As long as we start something positive, baby girl, that's what it's about, you know?
Exactly. Oh,
yeah.
boy.
Oh, you know what? I have an announcement to make, too.
Oh.
As you brought to our attention, next Sunday, the 13th of September, is the official Positivity Day, right?
Yes, it is National Positivity Day.
Posse next, every 13th of September is Positivity Posse Day. So next Sunday's episode, we got some real out of sight. We're gonna let you know who the guest is, but they just confirmed, and we are so excited to bring her on to you. But we have now, as many of you know, the Positivity Posse is going our best to go up another notch. Where next week we're going to start our announcement for our mask, our t-shirts, our ancillary, our caps. We're ready to get on board. We're ready to spread this positivity around, put it on your face, you know, wear the t-shirts, you know.
Let me tell you something. It's something about dressing and things that make you feel good.
Yeah.
For real. There's a psychology with that. So I'm ready. I can't wait to get mine.
That's right. Right on.
Quarantine photo shoot, but okay.
Quarantine photo shoot.
Thank you.
What? Gene Robinson, thank you for lining up here. Marcus Venice in Brazil. Muito obrigado, irmão. Muito obrigado por seu tempo aqui. Thank you for your time today. Our co-producer, Julie McKnight, has started her watch party saying, hey, fam, we love Miss Marla. She put it all in exclamation points. Gregory Harper, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, we heard Auntie Julie McKnight singing the other night on YN's live, and then I saw your video later on, Uncle Vic, like the next day. I was like, boy, one of these days, I'm gonna maybe not today, maybe I'll save it for next week. I'm just gonna ask you, go ahead, flat-footed. I want to hear something, Uncle.
That old school lingo, flat-footed, no instruments, just stand there and sing. I got you. Well, Wendy, we love you, girl. Thank you for all you're doing. Thank you for your time. And Julie and Chris and everybody, thank y'all. Thank you.
Love you all. We'll see you.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, as you see, I mean, my heart's full anytime that our guests take their time to out of their day. And even though it's the corona, you know, we got to remember that folks are still doing things. You know, phones are still ringing, and like we are right now on the social media thing, emails are still being sent out, and as I said, phone calls are still being made, because you know we have the positivity that if we do the right thing, this whole thing will get back where it needs to be sooner than later. And you know, I know that I have also Music Cares Project, Brother Bootsy Collins. It's such an honor to join him in his campaign with Music Cares, where this is a nonprofit that raises money for musicians that aren't working right now. And as a musician myself, I know what that feels like. You know, in this campaign that Bootsy's on, I mean, so many people are pulling together, pulling in to just kind of, you know, help out. It's another positivity moment, you know. But you know what? When our guests come on, y'all, man, I know from the emails I get from y'all, you feel just as grateful as I do that our guests come on, share their time, share their journey, and tell their stories. That always has a positivity engulfed in the whole presentation that they give. Today, ladies and gentlemen, it's in my opinion, oh my goodness, y'all. When I talk about the name Marla Gibbs, whew, I know it's like millions of others of you who share the same sentiment I do of love and respect for Miss Gibbs. You know, it's an honor. It's an honor that Miss Gibbs has taken her time to come on and talk to our positivity posse today, and share her journey. Listen to this. Marla Gibbs was born in Chicago, Illinois at Cook County Hospital. Miss Gibbs attended Wendell Phillips Academy High School in the Bronzeville neighborhood on Chicago's South Side, and graduated in 1949. Upon completing her high school studies, Miss Gibbs moved to Detroit, Michigan, where she attended Peters Business School. She worked as a reservations agent for United Airlines before relocating with her children from Detroit to LA. Margaret Teresa Bradley grew to become the famous Marla Gibbs, an American actress, comedian, writer, singer, producer, and businesswoman, whose career spans more than 50 years. Marla Gibbs landed her first acting job in the early 70s in the classics Sweet Jesus, Preacher Man, and Black Belt Jones. Come on now. Marla Gibbs is well known for her role as George Jefferson's maid, Florence Johnson, in the CBS sitcom The Jeffersons between 1975 and 1985. She received 5 nominations for a Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Supporting Actress in the comedy series. Miss Gibbs also starred in the show spinoff Checking in 1981. She is also famous for her leading role as Mary Jenkins in the NBC sitcom 227. from 85 to 90, producing 116 episodes. And yes, Marla Gibbs also produced and sang There's No Place Like Home, the theme song. Miss Gibbs has won a total of 8 NAACP Image Awards, y'all. And in recent years, she has played supporting roles in the films Media Man, Lost and Found, The Visit, The Brothers, and Medea's Witness Protection. Marla Gibbs later teamed again with former 227 co-star and friend Jack K. Harry in The First Family, where Miss Gibbs and a reoccurring role as Jackie Harry's on-screen mother, Grandma Edie, again working with Jack K. in the independent film Forbidden Woman. Marla Gibbs has also enjoyed a number of supporting role films, such as several television shows, such as The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Touched by an Angel, with longtime friend Della Reese. Legends. Judging Amy, ER, and Southland. Between 1998 and 2000, Marla had a recurring role on The Hughleys. Later in 2012, she appeared in the Tyler Perry film, once again, Medea's Witness Protection, and starred in the independent film Grantham and Rose. By mid-2015, she made a cameo appearance on an episode of Shonda Rhimes' game-changing drama series, Scandal. As many of us here in the LA area remember, and also around the world, Marla Gibbs is also a businesswoman, a giver-backer, you know what I'm saying, owning the jazz club, Marla's Memory Lane, and Supper Club, here in Los Angeles from 81 to 1999. As a true and lifelong member of the Positivity Posse, who I learned so much of my importance of how important being positive is about, is watching Marla Gibbs, her career, and her soul and spirit. Marla Gibbs makes it clear in one of her most cherished quotes, "It's never too late." My honor to welcome a true legend and inspiration to many of us, the one and only Queen Marla Gibbs. Are we on, Miss Marla, together? Hello? Can you hear me, Miss Marla? Hey, there she is. How are you, Miss Marla?
I'm fine. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, ma'am. It is an honor. It is an honor, Miss Gibbs. You know what? I was letting you know before we went on air that when we started the promotions this week, Miss Marla, within the first 24 to 36 hours, I was getting emails from around the world of how much people, you have a love that has lasted from your public, Miss Marla, for generations. How does that feel? Not only in the US, but internationally.
It feels incredible.
Yes, ma'am.
And not because I called West Medical.
Right on, I got you. Well, you know what? We know that quick, beautiful wit is evident today. What is the art, Ms. Marla? What was your art of condensing and projecting your sass, your style, the Marla Gibbs that we have all fell in love with and respected over the years?
Well, my thing has always been to try to become one with the character and let the character dictate what they wanted me to do. Yes,
ma'am. I got you. And now let's go back to Chicago. You were born in Chicago, right?
Yeah.
And then later moved to Detroit. But give me your memories of your Chicago you grew up with, Miss Marla. What was Chicago like then?
Well, you know, I always said Chicago was too hot in the summer and too cold in the winter.
Right.
So then it was not my favorite place.
Yeah.
But what we did, every time there was a vacant lot, we cleaned it off and we played baseball.
Okay.
Most of the most of the vacant lots in Chicago were ball clubs.
Okay.
We just took it, everybody, that was where every kids played. You didn't have to worry about having no place to go. You go down to the empty vacant lot and make it something.
That's right. And you know what? I have family, like growing up in Memphis, when we would go to Chicago in the summer to see our family up there. And I remember there was a family there, and we over at Ida B. Wells at 39th and Cottage Grove.
Yeah.
And then my uncle was, we go to his church, and he used to have tent meetings out there every summer, and it was hot. So we would set up in one of those vacant lots right across from Ida Wells. That's what I'm talking about, you know? But I love Chicago. So what took you to Detroit, Miss Gibbs?
Say it again.
What took you to Detroit?
What
your move to Detroit? What took you to Detroit? Why did you move to Detroit?
Well, my mother was in Detroit.
Okay.
I didn't grow up with my mother. She was in Detroit. And my younger sister was in Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
So my mother had been trying to get us to move to Detroit. And by that time, I had been working at a place called Service Bindery.
Okay.
A couple of Jewish partners hired me. And that's where I learned to do the switchboard, and they were really great for me. Wow. And so I had gotten married, and they talked my husband into coming to Detroit to find a job. He was out of work at the time.
Okay.
And so I said to him, well, you go and you find a job, you call me, because I was expecting our son. I said, and then I'll come.
Yeah.
I said, if not, you don't find a job, then you come back home.
Uh-huh.
So they talked him into telling me he had a job, which was not true.
Okay.
So I packed up everything at 7 months and moved to Detroit to find out that he did not have a job.
Okay.
But my mother was hiring him to go with her and do stuff for her. She was a minister at that time.
Okay. Oh, so you're a PK too. You're a preacher's kid as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
PK kid and numbers kid.
Okay.
They were in the numbers before.
Gotcha. Right. Gotcha. Hey, it makes the world go round, right? I mean, that's the whole thing.
That's right.
That's right.
Do what you can.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Now, while you were in Detroit, is that where you started your business school and started getting into like that?
Oh, no, business school was in Chicago. Peter's Business School was in Chicago.
Okay.
Detroit, I went to Northern High School.
Gotcha. Okay.
For one season, then I came back.
Yeah. So how did United Airlines get in the picture? What were you doing with United?
I was working for the city in Detroit, the DSR, Detroit Street Railways. And I took a leave of absence because I was ill, and my mother sent me to LA, which I really, really liked.
Wow.
We were eating outside, all stuff I never saw in Chicago.
Like what? Like what, Miss Gibb?
Huh?
Like what? Like what were the new things you were experiencing?
People eating outside.
Yeah, okay.
So there were a lot of little places you go and order the food and you sit outside and eat. That was all new to me.
Gotcha.
Then I wanted to see where Hollywood was because I always thought it was behind some big gates.
Yeah.
So when I got to Hollywood Boulevard, I was really disappointed. I said, this is Hollywood?
Welcome to Hollywood, right? There you go.
They were just starting to build a lot of stuff out here, like apartment buildings with pools and things like that. And it was pretty reasonable at that time, according to, especially not now, but it was. So I got involved with looking at that. And when I went back home, I tried to tell my mother we should move out here.
Uh-huh.
And she thought I had lost my mind.
Really? Okay.
So then I decided I really didn't want to go back to the DSR. So I was downtown at the bank, and I looked across the street and I saw the airlines. So I said, I wonder how they get those jobs. And by the time I walked down to the next corner, I decided to cross the street and ask them because United Airlines was on that corner.
Okay.
And I asked the clerk at the counter, where do you guys get these jobs? So she said, it's down where I first started at the other end of the block.
Right.
So I went, and in the building were several airlines. So I just started going to all of them. And they'd say, what made you apply at TWA? Because I always fly TWA. What made you apply at American? Because I always fly American. So I got to United because I always fly United. And I didn't know it, but United was actually hiring.
Gotcha.
So they took me to the next thing. And then I passed that. Then they had another little test and I passed that. But then they took my blood pressure and they said, your blood pressure is high.
Ooh.
So go sit down somewhere for 15 minutes and come back. So I went across to a place called Hudson's department store, and I sat down and lounged quietly for about 15 minutes, and I got up, walked slowly back to United Airlines, and my blood pressure was higher than it was when I left.
I got you. Right.
So I had a little Chinese acupuncturist.
Okay.
So I called her and told her what was going on. So she said, well, come on. So she came by and she gave me a treatment. And then she said, now your blood pressure is low.
Lower.
So anyway, when I got back to United the next day, it was normal.
There you go. Hey, well, it came on down, you know. So Elayne, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was so amazed at getting that job that easy. I told all my friends about it. So I got about 5 or 6 people hired because I thought it was something new.
Yeah.
I didn't find out that the government or somebody had mandated they had to have, so
gotcha.
they were doing that.
Gotcha.
But I was making sure everybody got hired. So a couple of people from the DSR came over and got hired too.
Okay. So how did the transition from that, Miss Marla, to the world of entertainment, to acting? I mean, was that something? And you should see the hands that are going up on this line here that, you know, they love that insight you just gave us. But how did it change from, what called you to the world of acting and show business?
Well, I was always enamored with acting, with film and musicals and things like that, but I never saw it. They probably had workshops in Chicago, but I never knew it.
Okay.
But when I got to Detroit, one of the vice principals from Northern High School, my sister and I, we were in the grocery store.
Yeah.
And we ran into him, and he was doing a product demonstration. And he asked me, would I like to try it? And I said, yes. And he said, you're pretty good. He said, there's a show I would like to put you on. So it was called Juvenile Court.
Okay. Okay.
So he sent me the script, had a whole lot of dialogue. So I memorized all that dialogue.
Wow.
Then I went there. And I was disappointed because I didn't have to use any of the dialogue I worked so hard on.
Okay.
It was just for me to understand what was going on in the scene and what the judge was going to say.
Okay.
So I did the show. I was a mother who had a son who threw a rock at a train and it broke the window and somebody got injured. Now they wanted to put him in juvenile.
Okay.
I didn't want him to go to juvenile, so I was explaining that we lived over a bar and that there was no place for him to play.
Yeah.
And so my mother said, we really believed you.
Mm-hmm, yeah. Now, was this role a sassy role? And the reason I keep going back to that, Miss Marla, is because, you know, you are a part of our lives. All of us who grew up with Marla Gibbs, okay? And I mean, and even before, and I know there's no way to condense the life and success of Marla Gibbs in 30, 45 minutes. It just can't be done. You know, because you've lived, like somebody just put here, that it's almost like you've lived 3 lives. All of the accomplishments, the things you've been through, the generations that you've seen, you know, you are the epitome of the word OG, original. That means that you've been here to see how it was before, see the change, and see how it is now. So, it's like, I'm sorry, go ahead, Miss Marla.
The Bible always says, as it was, is now, and ever shall be.
Come on now. That's it.
Nothing new.
That's right. That's right.
It's
And it's like when we look back on the episodes that we've seen you in, there was a style, or there is a Marla Gibbs-ness, through it all. And some people say sass, some people say, quick, which I believe is all, about of it. But your delivery, Miss Marla, in what we've seen you in, your rhythm of delivery, how is that, would you say there is a cultural difference in rhythm delivery on camera, off camera,
that
whatever?
was the key, the rhythm.
Oh.
Because everybody has a rhythm. Each race has a rhythm of their own. And you know it when you hear it.
Yeah.
You may not know what they're saying, but you know their rhythm. If you're on the bus and somebody behind you is speaking Spanish, but they're not really Spanish, you turn around and look to see who's talking.
Right.
But as long as they're in their rhythm, you won't turn around.
That's right. That's right. Now, with that rhythm, with that thought, with the writers, like, let's take the Jeffersons, for instance. When the writers would come in, and we're talking, 70s, and the people are throwing their hands again. It's amazing what it's dialogue in here when you see the lineup. But when the writers would bring you a script, or when they would bring the cast a script, how much was ad-libbed, or how much, because it was like, wow, how could they write for Florence like that? Please give us an insight on that.
Well, to tell you the truth, when I first came, I was only supposed to do one show as a guest.
Really?
I was not part of the cast. I was just a guest artist. So I did the first show, and I said, how come we overcame and nobody told me?
That's right.
And,
Yeah.
I got a big response. So they invited me back on the 5th show, and they invited me back on the 8th show, and then they offered me a contract.
Wow.
But there was somebody else on the show who was supposed to do the part I got. And unfortunately, they gave it to me. I mean, gave it to me.
Fortunately, right. And so when you delivered that, were there ad-libs, Miss Gibbs? Or what would go through, like when you'd see a line, how would that Marla Gibbs that we fell in love with translate from the writing into what we felt?
Well, when you do the rehearsals, and then you before you do the rehearsal, you have a reading, and you sit down with the producers and the director and the cast, and you read the script. And so after you read the script, the actors got up and they they got up from the table.
Okay.
I didn't know where they were going because I had never been on TV before.
Okay.
But I didn't want to go where they were going. I wanted to hear what the producer and the director was saying. So I stayed at the table.
Okay. And
they were too polite to tell me I had to leave. So they kept talking, and I kept interrupting.
Right.
Excuse me, Black people don't talk like that.
Come on.
See, Jewish people, they punch everything. I said, we just say the whole line, and everybody knows what. But we don't say, if you don't sit down, and we say, if you don't sit down, I'm gonna knock the suit out you. Everybody understands what you said.
Exactly.
Everybody who's not Black understand what you say because they hear Black people talking.
Right.
Same as when we hear them talking. So Italians speak with their hands, but everybody has their own rhythm.
That's right.
And I had to put things in my rhythm for them to work for me.
Wow.
Otherwise, they sounded foreign. So sometimes they'd have Mr. Jefferson at the beginning, and I want to put him at the end or put it at the middle of the line. And so I would always change it. And so the director, sometimes it would get on his nerves. He said, we know it don't fit your rhythm.
That just became known then, like we got to check, right.
And I would get the laughs, so they soon left me alone.
There you go.
I would get 3 laughs where they were expecting 1 because of the way I had did the line.
Right.
So they let me do it.
That's right. And you know what? You brought up a good point, Miss Gibbs, when you said that line, how come we overcame and nobody told me? I know to this day that I've seen it on T-shirts. I've heard it in conversation.
That was the writer's line. That was not my line.
But to hear your delivery on that, and the look you made.
That was my grandmother's delivery.
Oh, really? So you pulled from people in your, please tell me, who were you pulling from?
In the neighborhood, you hear Black people talking and grown folks talking all the time.
Right.
You may not be in the conversation and you can't say nothing, but the way they talk, you hear, they didn't curse. They didn't curse. That, they say things like, let's see,
what you say now?
It'll come to me.
I got you.
Different things they would say instead of saying, they'd say, ain't that a blip?
Yeah.
They might say, ain't that a bitch? But we
there you go. Right.
So it was all in my head. Being a Gemini, we keep stuff in our head,
Okay. You put it in layaway for another time.
That's right.
Now, you got some Geminis here line up saying, heck yeah, and that's right, Long
I heard there's about 6 of us all together.
You know what? But see that whole thing of, because we remember the energy between you and, because over television history you had Ralph Cramden and that that feuding chemistry. Then you had, of course, Fred and Esther feuding chemistry that became legendary, and then you and George's feuding chemistry that also is legendary. But in each episode, we never lost our love for either one of you in the feuds, in the whole, because it was almost like, I know in my household, and like you just mentioned, multicultural differences in the Black community as well, it was like watching my aunt and uncle or my cousins go at it, but at the end of the day, we're gonna sit down and love each other, and so was that the kind of a feeling you were thinking back then too, Miss Marla?
Oh yes, especially for 227.
Oh yes, oh yeah, because 227 now, and I wanted to get into that because to me, the special of 227 was you all told real life stories. It was like what actually would happen in a day of a family life. Please give us the history, because it started as a play, right? 227 was a play. Please give us the backstory today.
It was a dramatic play, really.
Okay.
So we were trying to figure out how to put it on TV, and I was approached by NBC and Universal and a couple of other people. But by the end of the play, Norman Lear said, I hear you got a great play. I said, yeah. He said, well, I want to come and see it. I said, well, you better come tomorrow because we're closing. So he said, well, okay, call my office. I had invited him before, but he didn't respond. So he came with his wife and some people from the production office. And then he said, well, what are you doing? I said, well, I'm talking with Columbia and some other people. He said, well, have you signed anything? I said, no. I said, they haven't got around to talking about any money. So no, we haven't signed anything. Gotcha. So he said, well, why don't you and I do it? So I said, well, okay, this is home. So he said, well, call my office and let's have a meeting. So we did. And well, the rest is history. I went with Norman.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, come on, Miss Marla. See, that's the thing. It's like we love Miss, Marla Gibbs, the actress. We love Marla Gibbs, of course, the singer, performer. But Miss Marla, you were also a businesswoman. You were doing things within the industry that please educate me if I'm wrong, but if during that time, were there many other females of color? I know Debbie Allen was doing some things as well, but I don't know too many outside of you and Debbie Allen that were actually faceted, production, editing, the whole thing. Was that?
Well, unfortunately, before we were into having banks and opening businesses and things like that, before they bombed Wall Street and all that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
somehow we got the notion that you don't spend your money. You spend OPM, other people's money. Right. But my thing was, if you're spending other people's money, it belongs to them. It don't belong to you.
Come on now.
So I got resented a lot for that, because people couldn't. Why don't you let the city take care of you? They got all that money. I said, maybe God wants to know what we can do, huh?
Come on, Miss Marla.
They didn't consider me a good businesswoman, and I guess I'm too emotional.
I got you.
So,
and you know what, Miss Marla, those are words of wisdom, because, and it started, if I'm not wrong, that during the 227 production, you were wearing many hats that would equate you as a business entity within that show, right? I mean, production, all of that, right? I mean, even hands in who was selected and hiring. Am I right on that?
I'd have to give most of that to my daughter.
Okay.
But, who's also, if you ever saw Black Jesus.
Yes.
She's
much respect to Miss Angela.
Miss Tootie on Black Jesus.
Yes, that's right. And Cleopatra Jones, she was doing some things, right? Mm-hmm. Did your daughter also in Cleopatra Jones?
Yeah.
That's right.
She was on TV. She was in the movies before I was. She was on TV before I was.
I got you.
She did Stanford Son.
Much respect to Miss Angela. Much respect. And it's just that whole, because like I remember watching, and I posted a thing that Regina King had put on YouTube, where she was giving praises to you on the whole experience of 227.
That's my baby.
Yes, that's right. How, Miss Marla, you were producing, you were picking the cast, right? So did you run into any type of anti thing at that time? Was that easy for you to do at that time?
Well, it wasn't easy, because women were not considered, except for Debbie Allen.
Yes.
She was accepted as a producer.
Gotcha.
But they didn't want me to be a producer, so I decided I would not do the show unless they let me be a producer. So I got all rights, courtesies, and privileges, but no money and no credit. Gotcha. So, but that was okay. I wanted to do the work.
There you go. And thanks to that perseverance, the people that were hired, who did you hand select a lot of the final cast, like Jackie and Regina and everybody?
Jackie was one of the persons that I asked for. When she came to do her audition, she came to read for Rose, but then she asked to read for Sandra. Okay. And when she did Sandra, she was hysterical. Yeah. Yes. She was a little overweight with a little short hair, and she was playing Mae West. Gotcha. And it was absolutely, so I said, that's her. Yeah. So the network wanted someone else, but I insisted that we have Jackie. Okay. And it turned out to be the right decision.
Come on now, that whole cast, Miss Gibbs. Hal Williams, Curtis Baldwin, Regina King, you.
Curtis Baldwin, we have to thank my son, my youngest son, he coached him. Wow. And Curtis picks up really quick, so gotcha. He was not a good reader, but he would do everything like my son would show him how to do. He would come in, he'd do that, and it worked. Right. I mean, he was really good. Yeah. And Regina, we insisted on having Regina. I said, Regina looks like Hal. She's got sandy hair and light brown eyes. She could be his child. That's right. So they were showing me another little girl they wanted. I said, no, we got to have Regina. So they put her through the trenches. She had to audition, I think 6 or 7 times, she said. But still, as long as I got her, that was fine.
That was it, yeah. And you know what, Miss Marla, give us some advice that it's called show business for a reason, because business
if you don't take care of business, there ain't gonna be no show.
Come on now. Break that down. Please give us some words of wisdom on that, Miss Marla.
You have to take care of the business. I tell actors, I had a couple of cousins who were twins, who were really handsome, and they just felt like they were unique. I said, no, honey, you have to go do the work. twins are a dime a dozen. I said, there were triplets and quadruplets. I said, but you have to go learn what you want to do. But they never would go take the lesson, so they never did anything. But they would have been good.
There you go. Because like you said, without the business, there'd be no show. And that's across the board, whether you record music, making films, you know, whatever it is.
Some people get away with it, but the business is always what the show is about. You got to take care of the show, not your own personal self.
There you go. Oh, man. You know, and you know what? And I'm also curious, Miss Gibbs, like I said, I wish we had more, because your career and your life and your experience is just so vast. That's why dropping words of wisdom and, as we call, dropping gems on us as well in moments like these, that's special. You know, and as I see the reactions coming from everybody that's lining up here, Miss Gibbs, it's touching, it's educating people, you know, and that's what it's about. And with all of your, let's take Marla's memory lane. You took that business sense of giving to the community. What pulled you to do something? Was it's in when you did it, where you did it, and why you did it? Then, Miss Gibbs?
Well, when we were at Crossroads Arts Academy, which is what my daughter started, a couple of ladies came in, a couple of seniors, they came in, they said, Miss Gibbs, we said, if anybody knows, you would know. Is there any place in the community we have that we can bring our friends when they come to town for fine dining, any nice place? I was always sending people to the marina, to the Warehouse, which was my favorite restaurant then. And I thought, no. So we had a lot of nice restaurants, but nothing compared.
Yeah.
So I decided I was going to see a movie with Richard Pryor.
Bustin' Loose was around that time.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Bustin' Loose around that time you was going to see? Yeah, go ahead.
So my girlfriend and I, we were going to go to the movie. So I went to pick her up in Hollywood.
Uh-huh.
And we were driving all over trying to find it. We couldn't find it.
Yeah.
So we ended up on Wilton.
Okay.
Wilton becomes, come back mine.
Uh-huh. I'm lost too. I need a GPS every day.
Well, Wilton becomes 2, 3 different other names as you go down.
Yes, ma'am.
So Arlington, Wilton becomes Arlington.
Gotcha.
And so when we got to Wilton, the traffic was so heavy, I just pulled off to get off of Hollywood Boulevard.
Right.
And I said, you know what? We can't find the movie. Let's go down to the memory lane.
Uh-huh.
I said, OC is playing. Let's go down to hear OC.
Okay.
And have some dinner. So she said, okay. So we went down and we went in and went in the dining room. And they said, the dining room is closed, but the cook said she'll be very happy to give you 2 chicken dinners.
Okay.
So I said, fine. So she made us 2 chicken dinners. And while we're sitting there eating, Larry came in. Larry Hearn, the owner, came in. He came through the kitchen and into the dining room. He said, hi. I said, hi. He said, what you doing? So at the time, at Crossroads, we were trying to open a coffee shop, a jazz coffee shop.
Okay.
And I had an architect and everybody come in, and they said, it's not good because where you're located, the planes are coming over, and it's going to be terrible.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at Larry, and I can't tell, he's got a restaurant we've known for years, food and everything.
Okay.
So I didn't want to say I'm opening a coffee shop.
Right.
I said, oh, nothing. So then he asked me again, God is awesome. He'll put these things together.
That's right.
Said, what you doing? So I said, well, actually, I'm trying to open a coffee shop. He said, why don't you buy this place? I said, oh, Larry, you're not going to sell this place. He said, I do, but I want to sell it to somebody who will pay me.
Okay.
He said, I said, really? He said, yeah. So he said he had a house next door that went with it. So I thought about it, and I thought about those 2 ladies, and I said, this will be a very nice place And of course, I was interested in jazz, and they said jazz was dead. And I said, how can my
Oh,
music be dead?
yes. Yes.
So all those were motivations for me to buy the place.
Wow.
So I bought the little house next door just in case things fell through, I would have something.
Come on now.
And we ended up with the place.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
That's
I just added Marla to Memory Lane. Memory Lane was the oldest oldest supper club in Southern California.
Exactly. Exactly. That's right. And you know what, Miss Marla, hearing you say this and what we've talked about already through your journey, there's one thread that goes through, and I'm going to say it again, the Marla Gibbs of your story, that you don't give up. You have a positivity that is a drive. Would I say that positivity drives a Marla Gibbs venture? Would that be all right to say?
No, that'd be good to say.
Yeah, yeah.
The truth is, I have motivation behind what I do.
Yeah.
It's not about making money. Unfortunately, if I had said and make some money too, I might have made some money. But I wanted to give the jazz artists a place to work. Yeah. And keep jazz. So I hired most of the jazz musicians. I'd bring them in from New York, put them in a hotel, pay them. Right. And so I was never making any money behind all this. Gotcha. And then I had champagne brunches. Everything that I had seen, I did. Yeah. So people could have their parties. On Mother's Day was always sold out. Ernie Andrews. Oh yeah. Jazz. It's just wonderful. Kenny Burrell, I still talk to Kenny. And then I hired more jazz musicians than anybody. Yes. Yes. Because they weren't hiring them in the other neighborhoods anymore. Mm-hmm. So suddenly people in the other neighborhoods were coming to my club to hear the jazz. Right, right, right. And then unfortunately, when they started hiring jazz again, people left because now they can go over there. I got you. But see, a lot of people don't, and a lot of people do know, but you're a singer as well. You sing, and a beautiful voice, Miss Gibbs. Did you grow up singing, or is that something that hit you later? I always sang in the bathroom and on the porch by myself. Gotcha. It's something about the way the voice sounds in the bathroom. I know. I got you. And I didn't sing too loud because I didn't want nobody to hear me. Oh, okay. So I never had the confidence. Yeah. Growing up, I didn't have the confidence. I got you. I was not encouraged in any kind of way. So. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you know what? That brings me to, please tell us why the phrase "it's never too late" is so important to you, Miss Gibbs. Oh yes, it's important to me too. Why? Because if you look at Tyler Perry, who was homeless, God works through ideas. You can be homeless today, you get an idea, you get up, if you move forward on the idea, you're not homeless anymore. You're talking about when you were homeless. Right. And I think Will Smith did the movie on the young man who became, well, I can't. Yes, fantastic movie. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was. And so those things I realized, but I really didn't connect them with myself. Yeah. But those things were inspirational. Mm-hmm. And that's why I wanted to do the show on it. Okay. And you know what? That in itself even doubles that positivity message that you give, Miss Gibbs, is that number one, positivity is something that we all know that there's negative and there's positive. That's life. But feeding the positivity more than we feed the negative gives another picture to the whole thing. Where you put your focus. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. I see young people, they quit school because they think this or that. And that doesn't happen. And they feel like they failed. And they really get into a negative spiral. Yeah. But somebody gives them an idea
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, they decide to go back to school.
Right.
And they come out with flying colors.
There you go.
And next thing you know, there's something you reading about them.
There you go.
But that's available to everybody.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, it is. And it's never too late.
That's right. The only time there is now. So we keep talking about tomorrow, which never comes.
Ooh.
Or we're talking about yesterday, which is gone and ain't coming back.
Come on, Miss Marla.
So you got to stay in the now. What can I do now? Not what am I going to do tomorrow?
Yeah.
Because you have no control over that.
Yeah. Yeah. What kind of advice, Miss Marla, gems you could drop, or what gets you through these crazy times right now? What's your positivity and of dealing with how the world is kind of turned around on a lot of us in a lot of ways right now?
Well, you know, we have things that we never thought we would see. We never thought we would see a Black president in our time, right. But we did. Mm-hmm. And then we never thought we would see whites, Asians, Spanish, and Blacks all come together. Protesting over what's wrong and what's happening to us.
That's right.
And that's happening.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's marvelous.
Yes,
and we never thought we'd see a pandemic, which we did not want to see. Right. And wanted to hurry up and go away.
Yeah, yeah.
But things happen for a reason.
Yes.
And we have to stay close and understand that we are spiritual beings as well as physical beings, and not take everything so serious and literal on this physical thing. You know.
Please don't stop. Please don't stop. That's
why I'm 30, because we're spiritual as well as physical.
Yeah.
And spiritual means we have no age and no time. There's no time and all that belongs to this planet. It has nothing to do with us spiritually.
Yes, ma'am.
It's just for this particular planet. So I decided, I've never heard anybody 30 say there was something they couldn't do. They start proceeding with whatever they want to do. When they get close to 40, they start that mess.
Yes.
Oh, I'm before they getting old.
Yes.
And then they become that. So I decided, don't go near 40, just be 30. And just keep on working. Think about what you want to do next. And fortunately, Spirit has supported me. I've continued to work right up to now.
Yes, that's right.
And I'm still going to be working.
Come on, because it's never too late. That's right, Mr. Mo. That's right. You know? And I keep saying that, and you know, my wife is like, because I'll just start saying it so much around the house. It's become part of my vocabulary now. Just that phrase, it's never too late. Because I mean, just to be honest, I remember like so many of us, you know, through my life when I thought it was too late. Through my life, you know, then that's just being real, you know.
Now the pandemic comes and you come up with something to do.
Yes, ma'am. That's it. And I got the incredible and beautiful Miss Marla Gibbs I'm talking to. So, you know, it's never too late, you know.
That's right.
Which leads me to one of your songs, Miss Gibbs. And if you don't mind, can I share this clip with my audience? And then we're going to come back, and I promise I won't hold you long after that, but I just want to brag on the song that you have given us. And I want to present it here on the show of Never Too Late. Is that okay?
That's okay with me.
Thank you. Thank you. Wendy, can I get your help to share this real quick? Ladies and gentlemen, this song here, Never Too Late, you'll see what I'm talking about, or what we're talking about.
As long as you breathe, you'd better believe it's never too late for life. Drop all that fear, 'cause as long as you're here, it's never too late for life. Scheme your schemes, dream your dreams. Living your life is the way. You cannot borrow from tomorrow. You only get one day. So don't give me the blues. life. Start being bold and stick to your goal. Forget all that stress and strife. Just keep the faith and trust your heart, but use your head now. That being said, it's never too late for life. It's never too late for life. It's never too late for life. So dream your dreams and scheme your schemes. Living your life is the way. You cannot borrow from tomorrow. You only get one day. So don't give me the blues, 'cause I've got good news. It's never too late for life. Start being bold and stick to your goal. Forget all that stress and strife. Just keep the faith and trust your heart. Use your head now. That's being smart. It's never too late for life. And with some help from above, lots of help from above, it's never too late for love.
Oh, Miss Marla, whew, I got to pause for the cause for 1 second. That took me through so many positive emotions right there. I mean, that's powerful. That line, and you'll see when you look back, people are giving the happy tears. They're giving the thumbs up sign. They're giving that's right. I mean, that line that says, can't borrow from tomorrow. It's about today.
We're always talking about tomorrow. I'm going to do this tomorrow.
Oh my goodness. It's never too late. Thank you, Miss Marla. Thank you, Miss Marla. I just want to say, you took your time to come on here with us today. We're not CNN, we're not the big boys, but we believe that our message of positivity, Miss Marla, is just as strong. And what you've done for us today is that you've given us that further message and that further cosign that, number one, it's not too late. And even more, that positivity is the way to go. I want to thank you, Miss Marla, for what you've given us as part of our life. I want to thank you for the smiles, for the laughter. I want to thank you for just being you. And we love you, Miss Marla. Thank you so much for taking your time today.
And I want to thank you for being you and having this wonderful show.
Thank you, Miss Marla. That means so much. That means so much.
And I think we are going to name the book, It's Never Too Late. I think that's what we are going to do.
Lord. Hey, and I think I've counted, since you just said that, it's already 3 people that said, please. Somebody said, I know that's right. So
thank you. So, you know where I got the line from?
What's that?
People would come to me. One lady named Frankie, who was a senior citizen, she said, I've always wanted to act. Do you think it's too late? I said, are you still breathing? But she said, yeah. I said, then it's not too late.
That's right.
And the next thing you know, I had her on the Jeffersons as my choir member. Okay. One of the 3 ladies that would come on the show. We go in the kitchen, we'd be practicing our choir. Right. And I said to Miss Jefferson, The girls and I are going to be in the kitchen rehearsing. And out of the blue, Sherman says, girls, and made us laugh. He'd come up with those things like that. It was so funny.
See, and that just contributed to that chemistry y'all had, you know, because it was like a quickness on both sides. Like my mother used to say, you know, you were time enough for each other. That was it, you know?
Yeah, he was so funny. He was an introvert in real life and an extrovert on the screen.
Yeah.
He would come in and he'd say, Marla, I don't have my lines. I said, yes, you do. He said, no, I didn't study. I said, you have. I said, when you first read them, your mind took a picture and they're in there. Stop saying you don't know. They can't come out because you keep saying you don't know. So he looked at me, he said, I knew that.
That's right.
And then I said, when your lips stop moving, I'll start talking. When my lips stop moving, you start talking, just say something about what I said. So he said, okay, that's how we're working.
Look at that. See, and that's that magic we felt, you know?
It's just logic in one way or common sense in another way.
Gotcha.
But you're trying to say what somebody wrote. I would try to tell Isabel, it's not working for you because that's not the way you talk, you know? Because writers write the way they write, but they don't write the way you talk.
Yeah.
You have to bring that. Yeah. So she said, no, I want to say what the way they want me to say it. I said, okay. So we'd have pickups and she'd be there half the night. Then finally she said, what'd you say I want to say? I said, it's not me. It's not me. I don't want the credit. I said, just think about what you're about to say, and you keep correcting yourself to say what's in the script, but what you're about to say is the way you really talk.
Gotcha. That's
so
it.
We finally got that together.
See, that's that whole thing of what you were talking about, that cultural rhythm that comes out, you know. That's all right. Miss Gibbs. Before we let you go, Miss Gibbs, number one, I've said it, I don't know how many times, you are stunning. You're stunning, beautiful, beaming through then somebody here it's been twice. Somebody wants to know, what is Marla Gibbs' beauty tips? I had to ask you. They throwing it out here to me. This is like the third question that came up.
Lipstick, eyebrow pencil, eyeliner. And lashes when I can.
Lashes when you can. Hey, and I think that positive attitude and that has a lot to do as well, Miss Gibbs. You know, and your whole thing you just gave us there. Oh my goodness. This was special, Miss Gibbs. Thank you so much again. And I hope that you come back. It would be an honor to have you back, Miss Gibbs.
Well, thank you. As we move forward with our project, we'd love to do that.
Yes, ma'am. It would be an honor. It would be an honor. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it. You heard it directly from the one and only Marla Gibbs herself today about the importance of positivity, the importance of understanding that it is never too late. It's never too late for whatever it is that your dreams, your even to find out, even if you have fears, let's figure what that fear was even about. You know, was it wasting my time or was it pushing me forward? Whatever it is, we can't borrow from tomorrow. We heard it, and please go listen to that song. And like Miss Gibbs just mentioned, we're going to keep you posted of the progress of what's happening with the book that I had, as we just had the small snippet of today that was so powerful in its own way, even with the amount of time that we had today. We can just imagine how that book is going to do, what that book is going to do to us and give to us in our soul, y'all, of the journey of Marla Gibbs, the positivity of Marla Gibbs, the ups, the downs of Marla Gibbs. But the most important is that endurance, perseverance, and motivation of Marla Gibbs, of that it's never too late. Much respect, much love. And Positivity Posse, as I always say, I want to thank you Thank you for taking your time every Sunday to just come on here and we all gather together, y'all, and smile a little bit, learn a little bit from each other, you know. And you know me, hey, I'm a waterhead. I'll cry if it hits my heart. I ain't ashamed about that. You know, it washes the soul a lot of times. But whatever it is, it gives us a time to break away from the news, gives us time to break away from what's happening, that we're not trying to ignore what's going on. We're not trying to say that it's not crazy out here in the streets. All we're saying is every Sunday at 1 o'clock p.m., come on over here and get some of this positivity on you, the best we can do. And like I say also, y'all take a shower in the positivity, take a bath in it, scuba dive in it. Hey, if you want to skinny dip in it, just jump in that pool of positivity. And when you come up out of that, sprinkle it on as many people as you can, because that's what it's all about. And in the words of the incredible and beautiful Marla Gibbs, it's never too late. I love your Positivity Posse, and we'll see you next time, next Sunday, 1 o'clock p.m. on the Victor Brooks Show Facebook Live Quarantine Series.